Sahih Bukhari 27. Book 2, Hadith 20. Narrated Sa'd. Allah's Messenger distributed zakat amongst a group of people while I was sitting there, but Allah's Messenger left a man whom I thought the best of the lot. I asked, O Allah's Messenger, why have you left that person? By Allah, I regard him as a faithful believer. The Prophet commented, or merely a Muslim. I remained quiet for a while, but could not help repeating my question because of what I knew about him. And then asked Allah's Messenger, why have you left so and so? By Allah, he is a faithful believer. The Prophet again said, or merely a Muslim. And I could not help repeating my question because of what I knew about him. Then the Prophet said, O Sa'd, I give to a person while another is dearer to me, for fear that he might be thrown on his face in the fire by Allah. Ibn Hajar's explanation. His saying, when a person's Islam is not genuine. If the acceptance of Islam is established this way, without sincerity, it will be of no benefit in the hereafter. The result of this is that Islam may be used to mean different things. Valid belief, which is equivalent to Iman and benefits, the Muslim, in front of Allah, as Allah says, verily, the only deen, religion, with Allah is Islam. 319. The linguistic meaning of Islam, which means obedience and submission. The author, al-Bukhari, used Islam here referring to the valid belief. The relevance of this narration here, in this chapter, is that the label Muslim can be used to describe a person who expresses Islam even if his inner intention is unknown. He cannot, however, be proclaimed a mu'min because although the linguistic meaning of Iman is fulfilled, the technical meaning is not certain. His saying, to a group of people. The word, used in the narration, indicates a group of people between 3 and 10. His saying, by Allah, I see him to be a believer, mu'min. The Prophet said, or just a Muslim. Ibn al-Arab recorded the Prophet's response, as don't say mu'min, rather say Muslim. The term Muslim is better used to describe a person whose inner intention is not known, because Islam is known by what is made apparent, as Sheikh Mihi ad-Din said. The Prophet routinely gave more to those who had recently entered Islam as a method of drawing their hearts closer to Islam. When Sa'd realized that the Prophet had left out one of the Muhajirun immigrants whom he saw to be more rightful to receive the offering, he came to ask the Prophet concerning this matter. The Prophet advised him about 2 matters. He gave those who were in need of having their hearts drawn closer to Islam, fearful that they may leave the religion and therefore enter the fire. He taught him not to make a statement regarding the inner intention, by declaring someone a mu'min, while it is acceptable to make a statement about that which is apparent, by declaring someone a Muslim. If it asked why the testimony of Sa'd is not sufficient to declare a person a mu'min, although had Sa'd testified as to the man's integrity and straightforwardness, his declaration would have been accepted, even as these characteristics require Iman? The answer is that his statement did not reach the level of a declaration, rather he was praising the man and interceding on his behalf. The Prophet then advised him not to use a statement that indicates a declaration of Iman. Benefits from the narration. The wisdom behind not giving one man while giving the others was to draw their hearts closer to Islam. A differentiation was made between Iman and Islam, whereas an outright declaration of Iman should be avoided unless clear proof can be established to do so. This narration is not the evidence prohibiting declaring people to be from the inhabitants of Jannah, paradise, although some scholars used it as such. It is true, however, that a person cannot be considered from the people of Jannah without specific proof. The narration is a refutation of the Murji'ah, who claim that Iman can be established by the utterance of the tongue alone. The narration establishes permissibility for the Imam, leader of the Muslims, to make decisions and disperse wealth of the state, while being cautious to use the wealth for matters of higher precedence first. The permissibility of interceding with the Imam in matters where intercession is acceptable. The permissibility of a younger person reminding an older person something that the latter may have forgotten. Advising in secrecy is better than advising publicly, and may be obligatory if doing so publicly may lead to harm. This matter will be further discussed in the Book of Zakat. Also, if the person receiving advice finds it necessary to correct the advisor, the correction should be made without denouncing the advisor altogether. In the narration of Abd ar-Razak from Mamar, al-Zuri said, we see that Islam is known through utterance, while Iman is known through action. This is a vague statement when considering the Hadith of Jibreel, which apparently opposes this. It may have been that al-Zuri meant that a person is judged according to his Islam and is called a Muslim according to his utterance of the Shahada, while he is not known to be a mu'min except through his actions, which include the actions of the heart and the limbs. While the Islam referred to in the Hadith of Jibreel is Islam in its complete legislated form, as indicated by Allah's words,